Hey, great to be back. Tony again. Hey, thanks for joining me. Hey, I hope you're really enjoying it so far. I'm just going to start off this third training. We'll just backtrack actually. I showed you in the welcome video about why most people get stuck paying off a house, having a bit of super, they're going to be screwed. Baked beans and 2-minute noodles. And the next video I sort of talked to you about, why property investing really makes sense. And then the video after that I spoke to you about 5 steps to a property investment pathway. Okay, I'll give you 5 things that you can do. I also give you, the 7 levels deep on the why do you even want to do this and get to your real core, and how to overbreak the fear and get yourself to break through all those things that are stopping you. It's in your head. But this session here, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of a team and having the right team around you and the right people around you. Okay, so I sort of relate, I'm in AFL footy, right? I've coached at AFL level and been involved in footy for a number of years. And I'm a mad Essendon supporter, so I don't know where you're from or what part of the country. If you're into AFL and footy, you might know the Essendon Bombers. And anyway, we were starved for success from the 1960s right through to the 1980s. And Essendon went out and decided to grab somebody who had no real association to the club. It was a famous Richmond guy by the name of Kevin Sheedy. So what Sheedy did, he went to Essendon in 1981 and he analysed the whole club and he's seen the flaws and deficiencies. He said the reason why this club doesn't have success is because we don't have the right people around to build the success. So if you look at any successful business, if you look at any successful sports people, if you look at any successful organisation or any successful, teams that you might have seen, I'll guarantee you they've all got one thing in common. They've built a team of people around them who've been able to fast track them and send them off on the right direction and move them to success way quicker than trying to do it on their own. So here's what Sheedy did. He was the first guy to become a full-time professional coach. He went and got a team of assistants. He went and got specialist physiotherapists. He got specialist fitness trainers. He got specialist nutritionists. He was sort of the forefront as to what you probably see today in just about any level of elite professional sport, is that he started to build a team of really specialised experts around him who could specialise in the areas that he wasn't a specialist at. So he knew football. He knew football strategy. He knew football techniques and game plans, and he knew how to motivate people. He knew how to get people to be the best that they could be. But he also knew not only did he have to develop their football skills and their football talent, he also had to develop them as people and make them fitter, faster, healthier, better mindset. They brought in psychologists. They'd done all this stuff. And, before you know it, Shooty went there in 1981. 83 had Essendon in an AFL grand final. Got rolled by the Hawks, got smashed. Having said that, they won 84-85. And then Shooty goes on and does it again in 93 with the what was called the Baby Bombers, just a bunch of 18-year-old kids, similar concept, and again in 2000, right? So the moral of the story was this. There's 2 ways you can go through life. You can sit there and try and do it on your own, or you can learn from people who are going to take you on a fast track. Now, when it comes to money, property and finances, here's what I suggest you do. Number 1, you've got to build a team around you. This is what I did. As I started to learn and started to grow, my old accountant, he was a really good bloke. He used to charge me $30 or $40 to do a tax return, right? And this is when I was back working on construction sites. So my return would be $500 was a really, really good return because he just had a production line. He's just whipping them through and claiming the bare essentials. A friend of mine said, hey, look, Tone, go and see this guy, Brendan. Get your tax done over there. He's really good. So in my mindset, right, first thing I said was, what's he charge? He said, well, $90. I said, $90 to get your tax done? You got to be kidding. He goes, no, I'm telling you, go and see him. He'll look after you. So I did. I went and seen Brendan, and my first tax return, I got just over $4,000 back. Yet when I'd seen the guy previous I was paying $30 or $40 to, I was getting $400 or $500. So you see the difference. Then I paid $90 and I got four and a bit, right? 1,000. Now that I've got properties, companies, businesses, etc., it's a whole different level. But I pay people now to do things around me that show me how to make money, how to save money, how to structure myself, how to position myself. So if you're going to look at property and property investing, I'm going to delve into this shortly about how to use the power of leverage, but how to put the right team around you so that you make sure you've got the right people who are all working in unison. Now, I see a lot of people out there go into the property space, you might have an accountant who's over here and a finance broker who's on the other side of town, and they don't even talk or communicate together. The only way I've seen successful people build property portfolios and build property strategies and plans is having a team that works together and having a team that's interconnected. So Shooty had everybody at the Essendon Football Club. They're all working together. They're all singing the same song. They're all going for the same goal. So we want to understand, what are your goals? What are you wanting to do? What are you wanting to achieve? How do you want to structure your life? How do you want to be? Where do you want to get to? And then the whole team around you needs to be all working on the same page towards your goal and your dream. So here's how it works. I'm just going to give you a quick lesson here. This is just a basic overview. I'm not going to delve too deep into it because everybody's got a different set of circumstances, different financial situation, needs to be assessed individually, one-on-one, but here's where we go. Okay, so working on what we call the power of leverage, which is OPM, other people's money. This is how wealthy people make money. They take money, they use it to make money grow. Got it? Here's what happens. Let's say you've got a house and the house is worth, say, $600,000 and you've got a $200,000 mortgage sitting on that house. That means you've got $400,000 in equity. Okay, so the difference between 600 and 200 is 400. So 80% of that's around about 320,000. I'm not going to delve into lenders, mortgage insurances and all this sort of stuff on this video, but we'll teach you that as we go. There's an opportunity now for a potential investor to leverage off that home and come over here and learn how to do an investment property. Now, as I said to you earlier, I'm not in the space of doing 5 properties in 5 years and 10 in 10 and all this BS stuff. It's just crap. Get yourself structured, get yourself set up, and at least just get one under your belt so you learn from it, you experience it, you understand how it works. Then you can make a decision 2 or 3 down the track and get the right properties that are going to actually do the job and get the growth. So here's what the deal is. You're able to pull some equity from over here, use it over here for a deposit, borrow 80% over here of your investment. In this case, it's a $500,000 investment, so you have 400 against it. Now, here's where people freak out. Here's where people get all, oh, Jesus, no, it's more debt, it's more debt. Okay, big difference between mortgage debt and investment debt. Absolutely huge difference. Everything over here becomes tax deductible, okay? You can claim against the interest, you can claim depreciation. There's a whole range of things that happen over here. The second thing that we do over here is we set up what's called a cash buffer underneath most of our investors, okay? So what that means is this, there's some surplus cash that's in amongst the strategy that's there for what we call a rainy day. So all income and expenses are going in and out of this property over here. This property is completely standalone, okay? So your home's over here, your investment's over here. You need to separate the two, okay? You don't want to interlace it. Now, the cash buffer here, that allows for, well, if something unforeseen happens, if you all of a sudden become out of work, if all of a sudden you lost your job and then, or you injured yourself, or maybe your car blew up, you know, life's going to happen, okay? Let me just share something with you while I'm on that topic. Property investing isn't a straight, smooth path that just goes, hey, this is all honky-dory, folks. I can tell you now, there's highs, lows, there's ups, downs, there's dips. Interest rates are going to change, banks are going to change, property markets are going to change, cycles are going to go up, cycles are going to go down, cycles are going to go sideways. Your property could be vacant, it could be tenanted. There's stuff going to happen, folks. I've just got to share that with you up front because you have to understand. Life just doesn't go like that either, all right? That's highs, lows, ups, downs. Property and property investing is the same, so be prepared for it. But when you set up things like cash buffers and you structure it correctly like we're talking about here, this is what makes the difference. This is what takes the stress out of it. The second thing that you need to understand with all this is that when you invest, you pay less tax. Okay, so for people out there on high income earners of 100, 150, 200,000 a year, you're paying bucket loads of tax. You're working the first 2 days of the week for the government. Then the third day you're working to pay your mortgage, and maybe day 4, day 5 you might be making a bit of money, okay? That's how it works. You're working 2 days a week for the government. So you want to be giving the government as least amount of tax as what you can. So if you can legally reduce your tax, get it over here. And my clients on average get anywhere between 5 to 20,000 back in their tax returns, okay, when they're doing properties with us. Again, that's a bit more intricate. I'll get into that at another time. But here's what you do when you get the tax. 2 things you can do. Number 1, you can park some money back in here inside the cash buffer, okay? And then that just funds that property for the next 6, 12 months, okay? It's covered. Or take a portion back over here and start knocking off this 200,000 that you've still got owing on your home. So let's just say you took an extra 10 grand a year for the next 10 years over here. There's 100,000 you've knocked off your loan through investing in property. But here's what the advantage is. You've hopefully now had 10 years of growth on your own home. You've now had 10 years of growth on an investment property, and you've still got your super sitting over here doing its thing with the super in the stock markets. You with me? So now you've got three things on the go as opposed to two: your own home and your super. Now you've got what we call leverage. Now you've got what we call more control. You're now controlling the game between your life and your financial future. If the stock market shits itself, if the economy crashes, if if things go crazy around the world and the stock markets dip, we've still got property sitting here as a backup. So you've got your home, got your super, now you've got an investment. You can leverage off later on and maybe do another one. But here's the problem that I see for most people. When they've just got their own home and their super, here's what's going to happen. They're going to find that they're not going to have enough super. They're going to find that they're going to run out of money, and they're going to have to sell their own home. Now, for most people, that's after 10, 20, 30, 40 years of family memories, family celebrations, birthdays, parties, etc., grandkids. It's really, really tough to have to live like that. So the whole moral of what we're showing here is that get yourself set up, get yourself structured, get the right structure in place that allows you to do the right cash flow, and we can show you how to do all this as we go forward. But the key thing is this. Before you do anything, here's what you need. You need a really smart finance broker who knows how to set up and structure loans and set up cash buffers and do this type of strategy that we're talking about here. You need a really smart tax accountant. Now, a tax accountant should be able to break down the numbers inside a property for you, okay? So you need to know, how much is that property going to cost me on a weekly basis? And you can factor that in, and you can factor your cash flow, you can factor your lifestyle, you can factor the expenses, because the minute you know that, the average person that we see doing this type of thing with us is around about $40 to $50 a week out of pocket to carry and hold a $500,000 investment, as an example, okay? Now, if you know those numbers, if you know how structure works, if you know how loans are set up, if you understand how the tax side works of this, then your decision about taking one step forward and doing something with property becomes a whole lot easier, doesn't it? So as I mentioned with Tradie, you've got to put the right team around you. Now, I've built a team around me, okay? So independent finance broker, independent finance advisor, I've got tax accountant who specialises in properties and structures and all this type of stuff here, legal conveyance, property management. I handle all the property side of it in regard to the right type of property, the right area, the right location, demographic data, demographic research. I teach you the whole lot. We actually do what's called property on a platter, and I'll find and research the right properties for you, right? And we'll help you build and grow and set this whole thing up, folks. You've got to have a team. You might be working in a business, you might be working in an organisation, you could be part of a company. It's all about a team, and a team is about having the right people around you who help you, who guide you, who show you the way to do it. It is the fast track way to do it. So I've got my inner circle team, we all work together, we all work for you, your future, and for your goals, for your long-term aim. So that's about the basis of what I wanted to teach you today in regard to this one here. It's just a simple structure. It's really easy to follow, but you've got to understand the concepts in a lot more detail and have the right team around you to help push you, grow you, and take you to where you want to go, okay? So look, that's about the third training I think we put you through at the minute. I want you to just, if you really want to have more information or you really want to get in touch with us, get down here, click on the link, book a strategy call with us. If you qualify, we'll speak to you, we'll run you through it, and we'll see where you're at, and we'll see if we can help you and take you and show you. That's one of the things that we can do for you there. The other thing, I've decided to give another bonus. You'll see this coming out in the next couple of days, okay? I just wanted to wait until the end. I didn't want to sort of share it up front too early. But here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to just do this now, all right? I'm just going to put this down for you. And it's going to be called One Thing. This is how I'd like to just finish off. What is one thing that you could do right now to change your life, to move your life to another level, to take your life to another place, to help your family, to help your kids, to get you out of that job, to get you out of that rat race. You know, you're up there working bloody long hours, paying bucket loads of tax to a government who aren't that bloody good at managing money, by the way, right? So the less you give them, probably the better. But what is one thing that you can do? Just one little thing. Maybe it's book the strategy call. Have a chat. There's nothing to lose, right? Maybe it's go and talk to your accountant, or maybe go talk to your finance broker. I don't know. You may have someone out there to help you. Good on you if you do. But just do something. Take that little one step, because you're only one step away, folks. You're only one step away from crossing that fear barrier, from crossing that roadwork, from just getting you out of that position that you're in where you probably don't want to be and saying, man, I've got to get out of here. I'm going to smash through here. I'm going to take it to another level. And I can guarantee you this. If you at least just pull that strategy alone and get your house, have your super, and have at least one property, I'm guaranteeing you you'll have more control, you'll be more secure in your future, and your kids and your family are going to have a much better life, all right? Listen, I'm Tony. I hope you enjoyed those coaching series. I've got plenty more to come. I'll be touching base, you know, if you stick with us for a while. I like to just educate and love to teach and give you a bit more value. Hopefully that's good for you. Hopefully you've got a concept of how it all works and what the steps are and how it can make it happen for you. Please, if you are serious, I don't want tyre kickers. I don't want time wasters, folks. If you are serious about wanting to do something, if you are serious about how to set yourself up, how to structure it, how to pay that house off faster, get that bank off your neck, book the strategy call with us. If you qualify, we'll be on the phone with you for around 30 minutes and we'll have a chat about your future, okay? All right, listen, I'm Tony. Have a great day. I'll see you a bit later on.